Welcome to the Yarn Diaries Knitting Podcast, where I talk about knitting and I talk about yarn and some other stuff that is related. Today, I guess I don't have much going on. Got some life changes that happened. I graduated college. Finally, after so long of wanting this to happen, it finally happened, and now I'm settled into a full-time job for now. I'm in the middle of wedding planning because I'm getting married September 22nd, which is still crazy to think about. It's the sort of thing where if you can picture the Squidward meme where his eyes shoot open in the middle of the night, that's me. And I'm having all sorts of wedding anxiety dreams. So that's a lot of fun. I'm in the middle of that. But I'm still finding lots of time to knit because the way I really try to structure my life is to have as much downtime as possible. For the foreseeable future, my downtime will involve knitting. And I actually have a really long train journey coming up soon. I'm going to be taking the train up to Seattle to see Taylor Swift this coming weekend, which I'm so excited for. I thought about knitting like a top or something for that, but it didn't really pan out. But that's fine. It gave me an excuse to go thrift shopping, and I've got my outfit and stuff. I'm wearing like these velvet, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. These long velvet bell bottoms, and I'm gonna wear like these really chunky white boots, like Doc Martens with them, that I actually bought for my wedding. They're my wedding shoes, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit and wear them to the Taylor Swift concert. And then I'm wearing like this lavender tee I found at a thrift store, Lavender Haze, of course, and then it's got a red rose on it, which, I mean, that shirt references two songs I really like, The Lakes and Lavender Haze, so it felt perfect. And then like the general theme I'm going for is like kind of like the vintage Midnights anti-hero sort of thing, so I'm gonna have my hair back. But anyways, I kind of overshared there, but it's fine. We do that here. But yeah, my life's a little bit crazy in some ways and not in others, because now I'm in a new predictable routine, because school was pretty unpredictable day to day. Assignments kicked my butt, and now I can come home and not think about any obligations besides stuff in my personal life, so I don't have to do assignments anymore. I can just, come home, relax, knit, and that's really been my life lately. So I've finished quite a bit of projects, not very many big ones. I've mostly just I finished all the test knitting I was doing for Jamie Creates, which is a huge accomplishment. I'm very proud of myself for doing that, and I'm excited to show off the Ivy jumper today. With that, I'll start with the Ivy jumper that I'm going to show you. And I don't have any other FOs to show because I've been giving them away. I made some stuffies that I gave away, like the rat that I showed last video that was kind of a work in progress. I finished that, but I always post photos of my finished objects on my Instagram, and I usually will try to update my Ravelry too because I'm a database nerd. So anyways, this is the Ivy jumper that I made for the test knit for Jamie Creates, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I was hoping I could get the striping to match, but clearly I could not do that with the yarn that I had left. I was kind of just winging it with how I was striping it because it's not written to be striped. That was really on me to make things more difficult for myself, but the reason that I made it striped really was because there was another test knit that I was planning to use this yarn for, and it turned out that the Drops website, or whichever website I purchased it from, it was a Wool Warehouse I purchased it from, said it was super bulky, which it turned out to not really be super bulky. So I saved that yarn for hopefully a future test knit for her, and I used a different yarn for that other striped project. But yeah, I am so happy with how this turned out, and even if like the sleeves are different colors, it's fine. It looks kind of quirky and fun, and I'm so excited to be able to wear this. It's a little bit too warm to wear it right now, and my job is kind of active. I mean, it's an office job, but I do a lot of running around. So right now I'm in the middle of summer, and it's just not possible to wear this right now. But once it gets colder and we're actually in fall and winter and all that, then it'll probably get a lot of use. So that's very exciting. And it's really made me want to make a lot more sweaters, a lot more garments in general, and just kind of moving away from smaller projects for the most part and focusing my energy on bigger projects. And yeah, so that brings me to my whips. I'll save the best for last. So I actually just have 2 new whips. I'm not going to show off whips that I've already shown because I have a few projects that are kind of on hold because either I've lost interest for the moment and I'll just come back another time, or they're in timeout or hibernation, whatever. I don't feel like I need to share them again because there haven't really been developments since I have last shown them. So I'm just going to show 2 projects that I've really been focusing my energy on. And the first one is my first raglan sweater. This is the, if I can get it, it's the candy sweater, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. So the issue with this pattern is that right now the pattern creator, I think their WordPress like expired or something like that, so the pattern it's not available through Ravelry at the moment, but it has been archived. So if you were to go to archive.org, it is findable there. I will check to see if I can link things in my descriptions yet, because since I've made this as like a new YouTube account, YouTube is like, hey, you can't put links in your description yet, so haha, you have to wait 2 months. So I've been very patiently waiting 2 months, and hopefully I'm coming up on that. So I'll actually update all of my descriptions with the links, but what I'm trying to say is I would like to share that link to this pattern, especially because it's not a paid pattern. It's a free pattern that they had available, and the only reason it's not available is because and it doesn't seem like they've kind of been active these days. So yeah, I'll share that. And then if you're curious about the yarn, I chose to use Barocco Vintage DK. I think that's what it's called. So far I really love it. It's in rose quartz colorway. And yeah, it just really feels like this might end up being like a staple garment yarn for me. And I've looked and seen how many colors they have available, and I'm really impressed. And so I look forward to using more of their yarn. And I guess I should show you what I'm looking at. So this is what the raglan increases look like. It's got these little cables on one side, and then like left and right leaning increases. So it makes this really interesting, like twisty pattern. It kind of makes me think of like a barbershop pole, and maybe something about that is why they called it the candy sweater. So and it's been really fun to learn how to make top-down sweater, because this is my first one, and I'm so excited. And here is my favorite whip right now. I'm obsessed with knitting this right now. It is the Fuzzy Pixie Hood by Fable Knitwear, and here we go. You can kind of get a sense of the vibrant color that I'm using, and I'm actually using two different kinds of yarn because the pattern calls for fingering and lace weight yarn held together. So I chose to use Malabrigo, I think it's Ultimate Sock in magenta. Kind of see how, maybe you can see how bright that is. It's just, here. It's just amazing. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but I do have good pictures on my Instagram of it. And then this is the mohair that I chose to use. Also Malabrigo. This is, I want to say it's called Heirloom Vegetables, which is such a nice name for it. It makes me think of like eggplant and beet mixed together. Like now that I think about it, like this hood, the color of this hood kind of makes me think of like when you slice into a beet and it's just this amazing like ruby jewel color, except this is a little bit more purple. So like if a beet was more the color of an eggplant and you slice into it, and it's just so vibrant and delicious looking. Every second of knitting that hood just brings me so much joy. And it's my first time like holding two types of yarn together, and I have to say that I might be a little bit obsessed with mohair now. I thought I wouldn't be turned on to mohair because I thought it looked itchy and uncomfortable, and I just wasn't sure. But like the more images I was seeing of these people's projects like on Instagram and whatnot, like they just look so like angelic and magical and so fuzzy, and I don't know. I'm a convert now. And one thing I really like about this hood is you can see how there's like a little bit of a point at the end there. So when you stretch it to put it on, it stays. And so it gives it the pixie look. And I'm really into vintage fashion, which is why I'm obsessed with Fable Knitwear. And as you will see soon, I will probably end up knitting most of their patterns sometime in my life. And that, I will talk about my updated queue in a little bit, but first I want to show off some yarn that I bought. It's too late to really show you the hanks of yarn that I got for the pixie hood because I was just way too excited not to just start it pretty soon after I bought the yarn, so sorry about that. But I will show off what I'm going to use for the Shrimply the Best socks that I've been talking about like in every single video. So I'm going with what is this? Cascade Heritage sock. I'm just going to make it really simple. So the shrimp is going to be this highlighter orange color, and then the background color is going to be just white. So I just knew I wanted to make the shrimp orange and not pink, because as much as I love pink, the idea of like bright orange shrimp just, I don't know, brings me joy. And also I purchased this hand-dyed yarn from my local yarn store. These are all from the same local yarn store, and I've been using a gift card that my mom got me, so I'm not really rolling in cash right now. My mom was very sweet and gave me a gift card as a graduation present. So that's why I've got fancy yarn right now, and so I will show you the amazing hand-dyed yarn I bought. here it is. This is from a local dyer. They go by Always Be Kind yarn. And this is their super sock yarn in watercolor rainbows. And I'm planning to use this in the Josephine vest by Jamie Creates. It's like this really lightweight sort of, I don't think it's cropped, I think it's just like a vest slash tank, and it's got lace work all in the center. And I've mostly seen people use like mohair for it, but I wanted to see how it looked with this really pretty sort of unicorn colored sock yarn. So that's what I got for yarn acquisitions. So jumping into the meat of what I want to talk about today, I've been really messing with my queue a lot on Ravelry, and it's probably going to keep changing. Like it'll probably be a lot bigger the next time I make a video, but I wanted to share my knitting plans, basically my hopes and dreams, which is my queue on Ravelry. So I already mentioned the Josephine vest by Jamie Creates, so I'll go ahead and just skip over that one. That I'm definitely gonna make. So the next thing I want to mention is I'm not typically a fan of stripes, or I'm picky about stripes, but there's this shirt I had as a small child that was it was like a watermelon pink and green striped shirt, like a t-shirt with peppermint patty on the front, and I had it for years and years, like even as an adult, but then during a move something happened to the box it was in, and I was really torn up about it. And then I started thinking in the past few months, as I've really picked up my knitting and been learning a lot of new skills, that I could recreate it. So, and I thought that would be really special because if I'm never going to get that shirt back and I felt really attached to it, I could use that energy to sort of not remake it exactly, but make a version of it for my adult self that I could hopefully keep for the rest of my life, or however long I want to hold on to it. Right now the plan is I'm gonna make the Seaside Tea by by Cheryl Mokhtari on Ravelry. It's just a simple striped shirt, and I wanted to have like decent length sleeves, kind of down to here-ish. And I'm gonna I'm probably gonna use Barocco Vintage DK for this project. I'm gonna do like the stripes, like the green, I'll do like green stripe and then like a really thin white stripe, because the shirt I had those, and then pink stripe, and then so on. And I was thinking about doing like a Fair Isle or Intarsia peppermint patty on the front, but trying to design that, trying to make that happen for someone else's pattern, and just it was just getting really stressful, and I was feeling like I don't necessarily need to have like the perfect shirt and have like this elaborate peppermint patty on the front or anything. If I just have like the striped shirt, that's really what I want, because I know exactly where that comes from. And I don't want it to be a stressful project. Like, I want it to be a project that I'm excited to sit down and come back to every day, or whenever I want to work on it. So I'm thinking that's going to be the plan, and maybe what I can do is get like a patch or a pin or something of peppermint patty and just kind of have it go with the shirt when I wear it. I think that'd be a nice compromise. Another thing I really want to make is the Crescendo blouse by the Knit Pro Girl, and I wasn't sure about this one for a bit, but I saw it on the Night Sky Knitting podcast, which is now the Wool Sea Knitting podcast by Rachel. I saw her wearing it. When she was talking about it, it just sounded like something I would really enjoy knitting and wearing and all that. So I decided to add it to my queue, and now I'm really looking forward to making it. Haven't thought about what kind of yarn to use yet, but that's the sort of thing I'll think of if it's like a very specific project that I already have an idea for, or it's a project that I feel is coming up for me that I want to make soon. But right now it's kind of just somewhere in the distance. Maybe maybe I'll try to find the yarn for it when I go to the UK later this year. I don't know. Another project I'd really like to make is another Fable Knitwear garment, and I'll just go ahead and talk about all of theirs that I want to make right now. The first one is a Diagon Alley jumper, and I believe I've mentioned it before, but it can't hurt to mention it again, right? I really want to make it. As well as the Oxford jumper, and I also really want to make the Hobbiton vest. I really like how they've been naming things after Lord of the Rings characters and places and whatnot, because I'm kind of obsessed with Lord of the Rings. I mean, I've got a tattoo. I don't know if you could see it. But yeah, I mean, I like how they're sort of like vintage, fantasy inspired, and it's really up my alley. So you'll probably see me make a lot of their stuff in the coming months and hopefully years. We'll see. I've been really eyeing the Filet sweater by Caledonia Dreamin', and I didn't realize until after I saved it to my queue that the name is actually kind of significant to me personally, because so in 2021, like fall 2021, I visited Egypt with my now fiance. He was my boyfriend when we went there, and then he was my fiance when we left. So, and he proposed to me at the Philae Temple in, I think it was in Aswan. I might be wrong. But it's right on the Nile in Egypt. So that was really cool. It's kind of cool to see that name pop up. But that sweater, I really like the design of it, and it kind of reminds me of what I've been looking at with Fable Knitwear, especially with the little bit of puff sleeve at the top. I'm not really sure what that's called, but I'm kind of all over it, and I want to learn how to do that. The last thing on my list I want to bring up, it's not actually on my Ravelry queue yet. It's a thing I want to design. So my fiance likes to watch like archaeology and ancient history videos on YouTube a lot. It's kind of like one of his interests. And he watches this one channel called Mini Minute Man, and he's putting out videos right now of a trip he took to Turkey with some of his viewers. And so he's like showing all these ancient sites and stuff, but the thing that really captured me, of course, as a knitter in this video, or as like a general fan of textiles, is he's wearing this amazing like shawl / wrap thing with tassels on it, and it's like a deep red color, and that's all I could look at when I was looking at that video. So one thing I'd really like to do is recreate that shawl. And so what I've gathered is it's like I think what it is, it's like a big square, and it's got long tassels at each corner and then small tassels along all of the edges. And the whole thing is like this, it's not really an elaborate pattern, but it's got different like simple patterns going on, and mostly red, shades of red, like deep red and bright red and whatever. So yeah, I'd really like to recreate that, and I've also got some other of my own designs kind of swimming around in my head, and I've been trying to figure out like there's a lacework top I really want to make. I won't divulge more information because I'm paranoid, but yeah, I'm really excited to start making my own designs, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna make them paid or not, because I have really benefited a lot from free patterns. So I might make my first ones free, and then once I kind of get the hang of it, and maybe I make more complicated patterns or more otherwise like more patterns that take more work, I might, have like a small fee attached. But I've been really appreciative of designers that choose to make some of their designs free or really affordable. But yeah, I feel like it's really a personal choice, so we'll just see where that goes. And yeah, I don't have anything else I wanted to chat about today. My camera decided to stop recording because it just does that. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. And hopefully I will see you, whoever's watching, like 2 people, in the next video. I don't know when that will be because I've got the concert coming up and wedding planning stuff. Busy, but I'll still be doing a lot of knitting, especially on the train on the way to Taylor Swift and on the way back probably. So yeah, I'll see you all next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.